What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to make a little podcast slash vlog, whatever this is called, thing, to talk a little bit about my book that I'm writing. It's not going to be done for a while. I would say like a few years, just because I want to get to a certain point in my life before I release it and try to make a movie. Like, I want to be a little bit more successful in terms of Lorenz Motors, my company that I started in 2019. So I've been working for actually I think it was 2018. I've been working on it for a little bit over 4 years now, and I'm finally starting to get to the point where I'm starting to make sales and starting to think about how to market myself, and what videos do I want to make, what content do I want to create, stuff like that. So in terms of the book, I want to be able to manifest a sort of soliloquy, no, a success story that I can insert into the book. Because obviously, without it, what's the point of the book? Like what do people want? What can people gain from reading my book? And I think I need to become successful, or a little bit more successful than I am now, before I can like speak as an authority in the book and like tell you how I did it. Because in the book I talk a lot about and I had a dream last night about how the medication that I'm taking, and I'll just be upfront and honest about what I'm taking. I'm taking Invega, paliperidone. That's like medication for schizoaffective disorder, which I kind of want to have like a bird's eye view kind of perspective or analysis of what that actually means to take. One of the key components of psychosis, which the Invega is used to treat, it's an antipsychotic, is agitation. So every day when I wake up and I'm not taking the Invega, every day when I wake up, I feel really agitated and I just really want to go back to sleep. There's something on my mind that really pisses me off, and I just don't want to deal with the real world, and I want to fall back to sleep. And I've been struggling with this sort of I guess psychosis, because agitation is a key component of psychosis. I've been struggling with this for ever since I was a little kid. I don't know when it started. I just remember I never used to like waking up. Now contrast that with taking the Invega and actually wanting to wake up in the morning. I think it speaks volumes to like how powerful medication in general is. And I've taken a lot of different medications before, and none of them work the way Invega does. So I know like whatever they're targeting, in this case it's psychosis, it speaks to what I actually have, what diagnosis I have. And it is like, it does take away that agitation in the morning, and it takes away that sort of frustration I have with life. So I know a lot of people who also get agitated, and I'm making this in hopes that more people will give psychiatric medication a try, because I didn't like it for years. Like, I've been struggling with mental health for ever since 2010. So 12 years now I've been struggling with taking different medications, and I never landed on the right one. All of them like were either made me too doled out, or they just didn't work the way the stack that I'm on now. And the other medication I'm also taking, I should like full disclosure, is lithium. Lithium is a mood stabilizer, so it keeps me balanced. And I'm on a really high dose right now. I'm on 1,200 milligrams a day, which my psychiatrist told me that in the hospital they put me on that much, but coming out of the hospital, she wants to put me on less, just because it's like such a high dose. So this book that I'm writing, it talks about, my struggles. It's obviously about me, and I want to make it like a nonfiction / fiction, where some of it is, based on real life, and some of it is based on, it's like a mix of both. Like some of it is my fantasy delusions that I have as a person who struggles with mental health. I come up with a lot of philosophies surrounding reality, and my theories hypothesizing about what reality is, and how that question, are we living in a simulation, that wasn't even a question until I started having a conversation with people about whether or not we live in a video game. And then slowly that conversation evolved into, are we in a simulation? And I'm sure I'm not the first person who came up with that idea. Like The Matrix, for example, is a whole movie based on that. But it speaks to like what the kind of questions I have about reality. And, for example, am I alone? Not are we alone? Like, are there aliens? I'm asking, like, is my perspective, the perspective that I have right now, is this all there is? Are there any other perspectives other than the one that I have right now? Like, am I the only one who exists? That's solipsism, if you want to look it up. Solipsism is the idea that only it's kind of an unfalsifiable theory, so it's like you can't really argue with it too much, or like base your reality on it. A lot of society is built on the idea that solipsism is not true, but it is an interesting idea, and it's probably healthier to believe that other people exist. But you can't prove it. I can't teleport into your consciousness or teleport into somebody else's eyes and like gather all their memories and be like, oh yeah, okay, this person definitely had a life, like, yeah, I think it's an interesting philosophy to think about, so I'm going to include that in the book. I'm also going to include the obviously the medication, the mental disorder, the mental health struggles that I've gone through, the hospitalizations. Is life a simulation? Are we in a video game? Am I alone? Do other consciousnesses exist? Is this all a dream and everything around me is a figment of my imagination and I just created everything with my mind? Am I God? Questions like that. Another question I have is so the central thesis of the whole story is that life is an infinite loop, meaning that exploring this existential question of who am I alone? It leads to, if I'm alone, then that means that there's a possibility that life is an infinite loop, like a perfect circle where there's only one track to take, and every time you try to deviate off the track, you either get sick or you get hurt, or like you run into some financial troubles. Like, if you're not on your path, then you get hurt, you get sick, you lose something. So every time you deviate from this track that you're on, which is a perfect circle, and this is where the interesting part comes in, is how do you prove that? Well, it starts with the Big Bang, right? Obviously, like, that's the beginning, but it's also the end, because the end right before that is the Big Crunch. So, in the beginning, everything expands, but at the end, everything kind of crunches together, deflates into a single point. So that's, the universe is kind of like a big heartbeat where it, expands and contracts, and it speaks to determinism, like, everything is determined, predetermined. I guess you can call it destiny or fate or something like that, but it's determinism. It's everything is just one set laws of physics, and it doesn't deviate from that. And um, if you align with it, you're good, and if you don't align with it, you're bad. You know, so um, that's kind of the central thesis, is that if you align yourself, and I just came up with that on the spot, like while I'm talking. I knew I wanted the infinite loop thing, but that's the thesis. That's like the point that I want to like drive home, and that's why I want to become successful first, is to prove that if you align with the laws of physics and you follow your path, if you read the signs of things that are going, if things are going great for you, that means you're aligning with the laws of physics. If things aren't going great for you, if you're getting hurt, you're getting sick, if you're something bad is happening to you, uh then it means that, I can't speak to like cancer and stuff, because I don't know, that's just like irreversible. But then again, it's not, because I've heard some theories on, not theories, but some practices like anti-neoplastons, where there's this guy in Texas who is using anti-neoplastons to cure cancer. So maybe not. But either way, if you're going the right way, you're going the right way. If you're not, you're not. And um, that's the central kind of theory behind the book, is that life is an infinite loop, and you once you die, you start from as a baby again, and you live the same life over and over again. And that's a great way to live, like, kind of, that's a great way to think about life, because if you think about it, if you think about life in that way, you're gonna curate your life into looking like something you would want to live over and over again. So, yeah, and then obviously there's like things that I don't really want to discuss on camera, like there obviously has to be a villain in the book, and that villain is the person who abused me and kind of insinuated, not instigated. He injected, no. Well, he caused, or I don't know if cause is the word, but it definitely correlated with my mental health struggles. Let's just say it correlate, like he correlated with my mental health struggles, so he's the villain. And then and then obviously Lorenz Motors is on the other side of that, where I kind of feel like I'm feel like the universe is indebted to me, and owes me. But yeah, that's all I kind of really wanted to talk about today, is just my just an update on where I'm at. And yeah, I'll talk more about other, like, Lorenz Motors stuff on my other channel. Go check it out if you haven't already. Subscribe to this and the other channel, and comment down below if you have any questions, or you want to ask me something or tell me something. I'm definitely listening and hearing all your ideas. Thank you for allowing me to share with you. On this podcast that I just created, we're creating. I just ordered like $5,000 worth of podcast equipment, so that we can actually create a legitimate podcast on the other channel, maybe this channel too. and we're going to just talk about stuff. And I don't know, I'm kind of rambling, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.